And I went to a place called Moffett, which is the last exit off of I-40 before you enter Arkansas and go into Fort Smith. And Moffett was a town that was literally a junk heap. You drive into the town, and it's where people kind of dump their cars when they leave Oklahoma and their cars give out. They just coast down into the town, they leave their car, and they walk on. And so the main street of Moffett, Oklahoma was lined with piles of cars rusting away and other junk, old refrigerators and stoves and just all kinds of stuff. And the people of that town were well, in Kentucky and in eastern Kentucky, they would have called them hillbillies. But it was, I don't know what the slang was in Oklahoma and Arkansas for that, but they were really kind of backwoods folks. The mayor of that town had gotten excited about doing this project, and he was the one who made the request that we send a team. And then Evelyn Kurohara was assigned with me to do this town meeting in Moffett. So here, this car creeps into this little town about 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and there's no people, there's no movement, there's nothing. This is a weekday, I think, or was it a Saturday? I think it was a Saturday. Anyway, we didn't see a soul. There wasn't anything. Not a leaf was rustling. So we looked around, and Evelyn and I got out of the car. And we started looking. We had the address of the mayor, and so we went up to his house. We found his house ourselves, because there weren't many streets there. It's a very small town. And we knocked on the door, and this toothless man opened the door and grinned at us, and we said, we're the town meeting people from the ICA. And he said, oh, very good, and he welcomed us, and he was very glad to see us. And he said, now, this is going to be this afternoon, right? Yeah. So we asked, now where we'd like to see the site of where we're going to be. And he said, oh, well, don't worry about that right now. You might want to go around and see if you can rustle up some people. I haven't done any recruiting, but you might find somebody interested. He said, but it's going to be in the jail, in the little town jail. So we go to the next house. And this woman cracks the door, and a barrel of a 12-gauge shotgun appears in the door. And this woman was looking at a white man and a Japanese woman. And we said, hello, we're here from the Institute of Cultural Affairs, and we are going to facilitate a town meeting. The mayor has invited us, and we have a letter from the governor of the state certifying, our legitimacy of this program, and we'd like to invite you. And so she just slammed the door on us. And so we went around in a few places, and we couldn't find really anybody very interested, so we went over to the black community. And we started recruiting over there. And we people were more interested there. But actually what happened was no black people showed up at the meeting, but we did get a hearing. People were glad they were being paid attention to, is the thing. Their pastor was over there, and he had a big cream-colored Cadillac, and he was all dressed up in suit and tie and everything. It was hot, but he said he'd get some people to the meeting because he was in charge of the black community. I mean, we knew that. So we get to the meeting, and I forgot what we did for lunch. I think we brought some sandwiches. But we started about 1 o'clock, and we had about 8 people show up. There was one family that had 2 kids with them. I guess it was kind of like this was a thing to do on a Saturday afternoon in Moffett, Oklahoma. Instead of going to the rodeo, you go to the town meeting in the jail because that's the entertainment for the day. There were a couple of other people, and then the sheriff. And but I remember particularly the couple that had the 2 kids. So the vision session went like kind of usual people saying all of their dreams and things they'd like to see. And then we went into the problem, we didn't call it contradictions, and what did we call it? Between the challenges. Yeah, yeah. We got to the challenge section, and we asked people to identify, the root problem in the community. We knew what it was, and it only took us 3 minutes to figure it out. And so we did the regular clustering of all of the the aches and pains and the community and all the accusations and complaints and confusion and the isolation, the poverty. And then this man, the father of these kids, said, I'll never forget it. He said, I know what the root problem is. We live in a junkyard. And it was evident to Evelyn and I and me that it was the first time he recognized it. So we built a great plan, and the kids came up with a major tactic in the proposal section, major proposal, and that was to build a junk park. And they said, I know, we can build a junk park. And so we did the whole rest of the program around the junk park. And we wrote a song about we sang a song, wrote something about it, living in junky land. And they drew pictures. The kids drew these wonderful pictures of the junk, the piles of junk, and how they were going to organize it. And then and we just had a wonderful time with that little band of people. Meeting went way over because they got so excited about discovering their problem and how they could do something about it. I was reading a U.S. News and World Report about somewhere around 1992 or 3. And there, in the little section, when you open the U.S. News and World Report, there was a section of sketches, like featuring a little community somewhere. It had, and there in this issue, it was just coincidental I picked up this issue. There was a little write-up about that big, and a picture of Moffett, Oklahoma, and their junkyard. That was a wonderful experience.